guys, this is a late video. It is Wednesday and it is actually nice out here. Not much of humidity, finally. I just got out of the shower, so I felt really good. So last night I got on a video that caught my attention, and yes, before we get started, this is a political vlog. So as I always tell you, if you like me for my health updates, Crohn's, gastroparesis, etc., stop now, get off this video. So on to the reason why. So I got on this video. This video was Trump has had enough, going to fire them all, traitors and cowards. So I got on it, and as usual, you know me, I have to say something. So I did. And you know how liberals are? They gotta run their mouth. Well, they never seem to have anything to say. And let's just see what I was told. Seriously, a coward? Laughed my ass off. The coward was your precious Obama. He gave ISIS funds, artillery vehicles, and U.S. strategic moves and planned bombings to save himself. A need arise and something happened with a POTUS should stand up and take action. Because you know, he is the Commander-in-Chief of the United States. Instead stuck his head between his legs and ran to a military base in Hawaii or to Martha's Vineyard. Such an upstanding piece of shit. Oh, I mean POTUS. Then I was told, girl without guts, you need to be cock-slapped, and often. Bitches as dumb as you are a pain in the ass to listen to. So my reply was, Patrick, a bitch like me is often educated and find themselves with idiots like yourself who never have anything intelligent to say. Therefore, your reply is always an insult. There is a difference between supporting a POTUS and being a follower. Supporting President Trump is agreeing to ideas, progress made, and the fact that he is following through with promises made during his campaign. A follower doesn't too much care what the POTUS does, as long as they keep welfare, free housing, free phones, and free health care. As long as that POTUS doesn't make any changes that isn't going to affect you. Even if they do, and you are too stupid to know it, you don't care. As a Democrat lib, you are blind. You love what the left feeds you, so no matter what President Trump is doing, cutting taxes for all, more jobs, cutting federal spending, you won't care. Why? Because you can't wrap your small little mind around it. So again, he had to insult me. Anna Spicer, an educated person would never support such a hateful, short-sighted, destructive, and petty actions of a morally bankrupt man like Trump. Consequently, your intellect is indeed in question. Trump rallies look like an Alabama trailer court was emptied out, Confederate flags and all. If you wish to identify with such riffraff, you can't be very bright. I'm not going to debate individual policies or theories, since you clearly take your info from known propaganda peddlers like Breitbart, InfoWars, or Fox. Find your news everywhere, and you may wake up. So this is the very last thing that was ever said between the two of us. I said, no, Patrick, I can't get my information from any news outlets because they have all been bought by Democrats. Or did you forget that too? And the ones they don't own, George Soros does. I don't have to go based on the news because my brain is bigger than a peanut. I do know how to research and find information that I want. And your response only proves that you lack the intelligence to carry on a decent conversation, but much less a debate. But I do warn you, if you choose to go in that direction, you better be prepared. Talk about Trump, but are a bit racist. Run along home to the Obamas. I think I hear them calling for you. It's dinner time. And there is no more replies. And this just goes to prove exactly what Democrats and liberals do. They get on these sites. They want to argue with you, but they cannot hang, because the only thing that they know how to do is insult you. And if they think that they can corner you, you'll just give up. Then they run into somebody like me. They think that they can insult me. They think they can call me a bitch. They think they can question my intellect. They think they can, and the problem is, they can't. So then they just stop altogether. I don't know how many times I had made comments on sites like this, which are pro-Trump, who are conservative sites, Republican sites, and all they want to do is bring everybody around them down. And when you challenge them, they can't do anything but insult you. And that brings me to, I am not going to attest and swear up and down this is the site, the news channel today, because I was on the treadmill and I kept changing the channels, and I took a picture of what site it was, of which channel it was, because I was planning on using it for a video, as a video source. But one of them, Fox News, CNN is already trying to make accusations against Trump without having actual evidence, and they are all going under assumptions. And well, just like he was trying to say, well, why don't you quit going off Breitbart or Fox News? Well, you know what, you can't even go to Fox News and get legitimate news anyway. It's like all these sites have been paid off, and they're not even owned by a conservative or Republican or whatever, because, well, they fired Megyn Kelly off of Fox News because Obama didn't like what she was saying, and CNN is, I mean, they're not even going off of anything that is written in stone. They're going off of assumptions right now. And that's just the kind of crap that's going on. I mean, they don't have anything set in stone. And so, it's just, we have all these sheeple now. And what's so sad is that they don't realize that as long as you just keep on following, you're going to be led to be slaughtered. And, I guess that they think if they keep following, eventually things are going to change, and things that Obama did is going to be turned back around, and they're going to get it. But the matter of the fact is, the free things are gone. You're going to have to work for what you want. And that's the biggest problem why they don't like Trump. Trump's stopping all this spending, and they don't like it. They're used to having all this welfare, free phones, and those things are out there for the people that need it. The ones that were freeloaders, hey, it's time to get off of it. It's time to get out there, work for what you want. It's not on the taxpayers. And I keep hearing people bitch about the tax cuts. Well, $25,000 when you file your taxes for a couple, that's pretty good. It's going to help my husband and I, but it's going to help others that are in a even lower bracket. My husband and I, we're in a nice tax bracket, But, well, we're in a higher tax bracket. But people that are below us, it's going to work out even better for them. They're the ones that's going to see a bigger difference, especially when they have a lot of dependents. But I don't even understand why they're even bitching about it. I mean, you know, Obama wasn't in give us anything. And then Trump gave the military a 2 I'm not gonna say what the exact raise was, but it's the highest that it's ever been in 10 years. It's not the only raise that the military has had, but it's the highest that it's ever been in 10 years. Now, they have had them, but not very big. And, you know, thank God Obama didn't say the hell with him and not pay him anything, even though he, you know, got him down to a skeleton crew. And but, you know, it's like it doesn't matter what Trump does. The Democrats and the liberals are just never going to see the change. They're never going to see that everything that this man has said in his campaign that he's doing. And, you know, and like I said in other videos, you know, not everything is going to be easy. I mean, you know, Obamacare, that is going to be a really, really hard one, because there's like, oh God, I don't even know how many taxes, because that's what it is. It's not a law, it is a tax. And that's why when you did your taxes, you had to show that you had health care, and if you didn't, you could get fined. It's because it was a tax. It's not a health care reform in no manner. And he lied about that, you know, and that's part of the reason why I use clips from other things. So like whenever I talk about something, I can pull it up and show you, hey, this is where he said this and this is not what happened. But you know, people, if people would stop and pay attention, and I mean, hell, you can go on YouTube and you could put in anything you want, and you could pull up a video or 2 or 3 or 20 or 30 or 100 on just that topic. So I mean, it's not like this is new news to anybody. It's just, what are you afraid to find out? Because that's really what it comes down to. People are afraid to find something out that they don't want to know about. And you know, you have to open up your eyes. And the Democrats don't want the American people to learn anything. They don't want them to know that what they're doing is they're screwing the people over. And so that's why I get into arguments with people. When very first time I ever voted was in '92. It was Bill Clinton, Ross Perot, and George Bush. And I didn't vote for Bill Clinton. I voted for George Bush. And, well, you know, I guess that's whenever I decided to be a Republican, and I voted against my mom. You know, my parents were old school Democrats. And, well, the old school Democrats are nothing what today's Democrats are. And, you know, and that's what scares people about Roseanne. Roseanne's an old school Democrat. And, you know, the people haven't changed, the party's changed. So, you know, my mom was upset whenever I changed. You know, I was a Republican, because basically all that did was cancel out her vote and cancel my vote out. So it was no big deal. But in reality, if anybody knows anything about voting, people vote. The electoral votes are supposed to go based on what the people vote. Doesn't always go that way. If the electoral voters are doing what they're supposed to do, they're supposed to vote based on what the people want. Doesn't always happen. But anyway, no, I actually was happy with Bill Clinton. And he's a Democrat. You know, what he did on his own time with Monica Lewinsky, who cares? Okay? He's not the first president to have an affair. So what? It came out in public. I really don't give a rat's ass. I don't care if Trump had an affair with this Stormy Daniels, you know? Whoever he decides to kick boots with, that is his business. And this was before he ran for office, before he became a president. Who cares? But, you know, this is what Democrats do. You know, the ones now, these young kids, the ones, they want to argue, but they can't hang with you. And so now, I mean, the ones, that guy was my age, that was calling me a bitch and questioning my intellect, but he couldn't hang with me, so he's never said one thing back. And you know, when people do that, I go to their channel, and they either have no videos, and they have nothing on their channel whatsoever. They might have 1 or 2 followers, or they have no followers, subscribers, and no videos. Every once in a while, they might make their own videos. A lot of times, nothing. And to me, if you're going to sit there and you're going to run your mouth to me, then I think you should have something on your channel, because you're not having anything to back yourself up with. And I have a big mouth, and I believe in what I talk about, and I am a conservative Republican, and I'm a very opinionated one. And I do go head-to-head often. I don't care if it's on Twitter, if it's on Facebook, if it's on YouTube, wherever it is. I mean, even on Facebook, I'll go off on these sites that are coming up and saying, you talk about this other, and then you go to that site, and then I'll be, and I still see things that come up in my news feed that I was talking about and arguing about 2 years ago, and it's still going. And, you know, just gotta let your voice be heard. And, you know, the ones that are scared of you are the ones that's going to keep continuing to argue with you, because they don't know how to argue, and they're not intelligent enough to keep up with you. And that's when they start questioning your intelligence, trying to get you to be, you know, defending yourself. And, well, I'm not defending myself, because I'm more intelligent than you are, and I know that you're not going to be able to come back at me. And, you know, I've had this happen on Facebook, on my daughter's profile, and on my son's ex-girlfriend's profile, you know, and they finally, I'm just like, you know, you don't want to go there with me, because if you do, you better be prepared. And they just like, oh, yeah, well, and then they stop, because they don't want to, because they know they're not going to be able to hang. And when they say, well, bring up with this, that, well, you know, I can. Well, that's not a, you know, that site's not reputable. Well, I can bring you up any site you want. You just tell me which one you want, and I'll pull it up for you. But you can't trust any sites now, because they're all none of them are reputable anymore. You don't know who owns them. Hell, George Soros owns, I don't know how many. Pull them up. And, shoot, what sites, just pull George Soros up about what all he owns. There is just a list of things. And then there's some things that's hidden under other things. So, unless you are really checking him out, you're not going to find everything. You have to know what you're looking for. And I have done a lot of investigating on him. and I do know a lot about him. In fact, I did a piece on him with Obama, and I revealed a few things, but I do know a whole lot about that man. And you know, if more people knew more about him, they'd be a little bit more nervous. But you know, he was behind Obama the whole time he was president, and Obama was trying to turn us into a socialist country. And he even said, you know, the United States, he tried, you know, it was an experiment. It was a fun experiment, but he couldn't break us. You know, we're just too strong of a country. So, you know, if he can't break us, then nobody's going to be able to. And you just need to go and check out that video, because then you're going to understand why. He's a dangerous man. But anyway, that's all. Not a long video today because, well, I just don't really feel like it, and I just felt like just a little bit here and there, and well, it's getting dark outside, and I think I need to go check my oxygen saturation. So, you guys have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow. And I'm still working on that one video. You know, some of these videos I do take a while when I'm doing some research. So, you guys have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Our national narratives. To give the impression of the moral high ground, the Soros Network also funds what they call evangelical and Catholic mascots to serve as surprising validators for their anti-Christian projects and candidates. Imagine the evil of using a Christian front to de-Christianize the culture and nation. In this video clip from the New America Foundation, an executive admits their rent an evangelical model of social change.
Doing a sort of rent an evangelical, as we used to call it on the national security side, rent a general model.
The network funds religious groups including Jim Wallace's Sojourners, PICO, Faith in Public Life, Faithful America, Richard Cizik's New Evangelical Partnership, Telos, J Street, National Council of Churches, Evangelicals for Human Life, Catholics United, Catholics in Alliance for the Common Good, Catholics for Choice, and through the network's National Immigration Forum, they fund religious groups advancing open borders, amnesty, and voter registration for their new America. Rather than advancing the whole counsel of Scripture as the highest love for people and culture, these useful ministers assist non-Christian policies, projects, and politicians with faith words, optics, organizing, and media to confuse Christian and other value voters, to recruit the church into their radical political agenda, and to help the left's politicians get elected.
You are absolutely right that John McCain has not talked about my Muslim faith, and you're absolutely right that that has not
Christian
come
faith.
My Christian faith.
I admire Margaret Sanger enormously. Her courage, her tenacity, her vision.
All of which works to fundamentally transform America.
away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America.
The Soros network of money and activists breaks down life-giving wisdom of marriage and the family with progressive education, alternative identities and sexualities, abortion, and soon euthanasia. The network grows government power, taxes, welfare dependency, and debt. The Soros network breaks down civil society and ethnic harmony by hiring organizers to create street theater that becomes our ugly national narratives. The network advances illegal migration and unvetted refugees, bringing crime, disease, drugs, and even terror to America. The Bible teaches wise welcome, not open borders. The network advances many Islamist projects endangering Europe, Israel, and America. It aided President Obama's nuclear deal, giving $150 billion to Iran, a state sponsor of terror. Now, after 8 years of President Obama forcing open borders, the network is supporting voter fraud by documenting undocumented people to vote.
Turn your centers, Islamic centers, mosques, into registration centers for voters, into polling stations during the election time. Black Lives Matter is our campaign.
And after decades of collaboration with the Clintons, George Soros is now the chairman of Ready for Hillary PAC.
We have been given an extraordinary blessing, and at this moment in time, our country needs us. And we need people like George Soros, who is fearless and willing to step up when it counts.